Hey guys, welcome back. So this week 12.3, we've got a nice little piece, 18 minutes. We've got box jumps, we've got push presses, and we've got toaster bars. So going from a single modality to a triplet means that we've got plenty of things to prepare, especially when that high rep box jump is kind of maybe a little bit notorious for the potential damage for your Achilles. We want to make sure that you're all prepped, you're safe. Then we're going to have a look at the overhead position, a little bit of the rack position after that, and then give you some ideas on the toaster bar. But the main focus is going to be keeping you guys safe on the box jumps. You can also go back and look at Kelly's and Carl's great explanations on the box jump, the warm-up that you can do specifically, how you can be more efficient. Go look at Matt Chan's video on the box jump efficiency from the CrossFit main side, and go back on the CrossFit journal. You had that video on the clean efficiency lately from the competitor course, and go ahead and go all the way to the end of that, and you'll have push press, push jerk technique there as well. So there's plenty of things to think about, plenty of things to prepare. The strategy is going to be pretty simple for the workout though. Survive, right? It's 18 minutes, it's going to be tough. So the first thing I want you guys to think about is that if you're an athlete like me, your feet are pretty stiff from all the heavy lifting that you're doing. So I want to make sure that your foot is a little bit more pliable, so that every time you come down from that box, you don't put excessive stress on that inside arch of your foot. If you're like me, you do a workout like this and your feet is the first limiting factor for you, just the pain underneath your foot. You don't want to have that, you want to be focused on task on hand. So, here's the drill. I'm going to work on my left side. I'm going to step a little bit away from the wall. I'm going to lean against the wall. Keep my hands straight, keep a good position. I'm going to take my opposite foot and reach at different angles, always pointing my toes to the direction where I'm going. If my knee bends, that's fine, especially as I go to the side. As I go more forward, my knee is going to stay more straight. My goal is to keep the heel on the ground, and what we're doing is you're starting to warm up your Achilles, warm up your calf, get a little dorsiflexion stretch, and you're also working the small joints of your foot as you do that. Once you've done that a couple of times, I will need you to bring your knee up, rotate in. You should feel a little funny sensation on the inside of your heel where you're stretching, and then you're going to push your knee out, push your hip forward. Knee out, hip forward, go back and forth. Okay, and the idea is that you're mobilizing the small joints of your foot to make sure that you don't lose efficiency because of that pain. The next thing you could do is just take a cross ball, take your shoe off, make sure you mash that foot. This is something you might want to consider doing the day before, or do it during the day before you come in and do the workout. Good. The next thing we're going to do is look at a little calf stretch that you can hit, increase that ankle dorsiflexion range. So, this could be a pull-up rack, this could be a squat rack. I'm going to lean back, make sure that my toe is pretty high up. Okay, you're going to grab that bar. Your goal is to bring your hip towards the bar. I'm not just going to stay here, but what I want to do is just go back and forth. Keep your mobilization dynamic as you're warming up. I can go forward and stop and now move my hips from side to side. Especially going outside, you're going to feel a stretch that you haven't felt before. And then I can also go in and rotate away from that leg, again to addressing the all three movement planes on that calf for the dorsiflexion. You've hit that piece, both sides, your calf starts to be pretty ready. I want to make sure that you have the capacity to absorb that shock. Kelly's idea of that fire hose on the tissues. You want to get your tissues nice and super supple and pliable before you go. So you're going to do some jumping drills. You're just going to start here. You can just jump on place, letting your heels kiss the ground. Then you can start jumping side to side. You're going to jump forwards and backwards. You can just go back, back, back. You can go forward, forward, forward. You could go one way, you could go the other way. And you also want to have some twisting in there. And you could go feet in the opposite directions as well. If it looks too crazy for you and you're like, oh, I can't do that in the gym, take a skipping rope and do all the same stuff with a skipping rope if it makes you feel a little bit awkward. Remember, it's more awkward to rupture your Achilles tendon than to jump in place before you go. So your calves should be pretty good to go at that point. The next step, the rack position, and this is where we're really going to spend just the minimum time in here. You guys can go ahead and find plenty of ideas online how to address this. One of my favorite fast warm-ups, band around my wrist, middle of my foot, going to grab that band, bend that foot, twist around, come down to that rack position. Okay? I could just hang out, but because I want to stay dynamic, I'm just going to do some rotation in here. could do a little side bending side to side. I could do little mini steps in different directions. Okay, whatever combination I want, but I want to spend some time in here. I could do a little contract and relax as well. Whatever you need to establish that solid rack position, this is going to work your way up towards that overhead position as well. There's plenty of stuff that you guys have already seen for the overhead position, so I'm not really going to spend time. This video is going to be super long already in prepping the overhead position. You guys know that these classic setups by Kelly are a great way to get started on improving that overhead position. You might want to think about for the push press as well when opening your upper back with the double across ball. Just do the peanut thing. Open up all the joints. Now, the last piece I want to show you is for the toaster bar. Okay? And I'm not going to spend time talking about the technique. I'm hoping that somebody's going to post a good technique video so I don't have to do 15 minutes on here. But just think about efficiency. On the toaster bar, you want to bring your knee up first and then kick up. So if you do a toaster bar, you don't want to be this guy. Okay, you want to bring the knees up and have that efficient kick. And to prep for that, I'm just going to step in a band all the way high up in the front of the hip. Okay, good tension in there. And now I want to make this mobile look like my toaster bar. So I would bend my knees first, and then I would extend them, right? That's your toaster bar. I'm going to bend and extend. Step up, bend and extend. Make that same movement pattern. Repeat 5-10 times each side. Test, retest on your toaster bar. You should find increased efficiency. So, in recap, start by mashing that foot. Mobilize your foot. Okay, your Achilles stretched and warmed up. Make sure you're feeling safe and comfortable there. Spend some time on your rack, overhead position, your thoracic mobility if you need to, and then make sure that you address that efficiency in the toaster bar as well by mobilizing that hip, by copying the movement that you're actually going to do. Good luck.